Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Good morning, everyone. This is the It's Me Time podcast with Mary of Mongrain. I am Mary F, and we are today with Katia Stern. Am I pronouncing your name right?
Yes, Maria, thank you.
Amazing. Thanks for being here. Just before, for the audience that is new with me here, I am a life coach, a mindset life coach. I'm certified in applied neurosciences. I'm also a certified master facilitator, freedom facilitator from Nick Bro. I've been a widow for the past 4.5 years, single mom. I've gone through an amazing transformation the past 4.5 years through the grief and just, I think an amazing positive mindset. And today, the lady I have with me has gone through her own journey, and it's going to be amazing. We're going to talk about different things about life in general, about how we as women, and even anyone, how to go through our own insecurities, loving ourselves, and that how it's going to create our reality, right? If you want to follow me, you can go on YouTube. I'm on Apple Podcasts, like any type of podcast, Spotify. You can find me there. Also on my website, maryofmongrain.com. Instagram and TikTok, it's marymongrain90. So if you want to reach me, you can find me all of these places. So let's start. And let me introduce you, Katia. Is it Katia or Katia?
Katia. It's Russian descent, yes. So it's Katia.
I love it. Because I want to make sure, because people say it differently, but Katia is amazing. I'll go with that. It sounds so nice. She's known as the Wow Woman. She's the author of an international best-selling book. I mean, I don't get just anyone on my show. I mean, You Were Born Wow is her book and is the co-author of the best-selling book Success with the famous Jack Canfield, America's #1 success coach, founder of the billion-dollar Chicken Soup for the Soul publishing empire. Katia is a confidence and empowerment coach who helped hundreds of women in 25 countries. Among other accolades, Katia is a psychology major and has a master's degree in international law, LLM. She's a certified Jack Canfield Success Principles coach and a certified health coach. Doesn't stop. She's also Canada. It's amazing. She's also Canada's national level fitness bikini competitor and Mrs. Canada Classic 2020. I welcome Katia Stern. How you doing?
Thank you, Maria, for this grand introduction. Thank you.
I want to know why the Wow Woman?
I want to know myself. I just woke up one day and no.
But no. That's okay. You could have woken up and said, I choose to be the Wow Woman.
No, that's what we want to believe. And a lot of, unfortunately, there's a lot of misconception now that you just, you wake up successful and famous, and it's just not true. I'm here to break those beliefs, and there's some work, behind the scenes. And why wow? People that don't know me think, okay, maybe because she's confident, she's successful, she's this and that. And which most of it is true now, but it was not always been like this. It's been tough. My life looked great to everybody else. I lived in Monaco. I was in a relationship with a great man. He was an athlete, and then he began to hurt people, hurt others. And life in Monaco wasn't satisfying because it was not fulfilling, even though, again, Monaco, Ferrari, boats, and all the glitz and glam. But I felt empty inside because I realized I had more in me, and it was just getting darker and darker. And one day I just stopped and said, okay, where's the light? The light inside of me. And even though I was wowed by everybody else who saw me, I was not wowed by me. I wasn't satisfied. I was not, I felt like I was suffocating my own life. And one day I'll almost die in the fire. And that's when I realized, my God, I'm not ready to die before I leave. I have to leave. I had a 3-year-old daughter. I just got out of this relationship. I had to choose me. and find that to be that wow within me, to be wowed by who I'm becoming, to be wowed by my confidence, by my perseverance, by my commitment. That's what I wanted. And it took me years of learning how to love myself, how to appreciate what I've done, what I, how to, I learned a lot. I mean, that was it's another story of how this whole path, the journey has been happening to me, by me, by this hands, by this, by me. And it's quite a, I'm proud of it now. And one of the amazing things is, and I think that's how I work now, is I help women to become confident, first of all, in their bodies. And that was my struggle. And we can talk about this a little bit more. But yeah, because for years I've been struggling with an eating disorder. I was bulimic since the age of, I don't remember, 15, I think, because I mean, now I know the root cause of this is I was not accepting myself. Obviously, there was no self-love, even though I thought I was loving myself because I was taking care of myself, manicure, pedicures, and stuff like that. That's not really self-love. And unfortunately, people make that mistake thinking, oh, I care. I bought Chanel suits when I was like 20 years old. Oh my God.
You were pampering yourself.
Yeah. But when I realized that success is not really outside, it's inside, it's how I feel, the emotions I experience, just that joie de vivre.
Yes.
On dit en français.
Oui.
You see, I lived in Monaco, so I still remember.
It sounds so nice.
Thank you. Yes, now I've learned to accept compliments, because before I was like, who, me? Beautiful? No.
So I have a question. Did you not feel beautiful when you were surrounded by all these people? Like when you were in Monaco, like did you not feel like, how are you feeling? Because I mean, for a lot of people, that's a dream, to be like the pretty girl on the boat and just enjoying the lifestyle and the jet set. And how did you feel at that moment when you were surrounded by all these people, like at the high of that time?
It's a very great question, because again, people think that I must have been, made it, and I was living on the boat, 50 meters boat, and people were photographing me off from the port, looking at me, and I had my fancy Dior glasses, and my tears were dropping down my face because I was not happy. I couldn't invite anybody to that boat. I couldn't share this with anybody. What is it good for? And people thought I was pretty, or actually beautiful. And even though I did feel, yes, I was that, but I wasn't taught to appreciate my beauty. So inside there was a disagreement, this balance, this whatever alliance with myself, because I was taught that beauty will get you nowhere. You have to be smart. That's why I was overcompensating with my 4 university degrees, and all the time I thought I had to struggle in order to, make it, be successful, because I wanted to be a good woman. I want to be a good person. And I was struggling. And I think for years, I couldn't let go of that struggle with my eating disorder, because, and all of this I learned when I started, when I became a coach myself and a mindset mentor and all of that, that I just couldn't let go of that story of heroism, that I was a hero. I was struggling all the time. I had this secret in me, and I was overcoming this every day. I was on the battlefield. And a lot of women, unfortunately, glamorizing being the victim, being the warrior, and being busy, doing something. And that's what I'm not against of anything, but I guess that's my empowering message of, stop that, just enjoy life. And that's
We're
what I
perfect as
help
we are right
women
now.
with that. Exactly. And it's hard to, and I'm going to say it's like, just accept it, and it's easy to say, but
It's
to
so
be
hard to
done,
do.
it's so that's why we're coaches. That's why we, me, you, your audience, that's how we, we live. Basically, we making impact because we realize at one point that we need help, and it's okay to have help. And we are, I mean, me and you are attracted to each other. Why? Because I'm attracting impactful and very interesting women, right? And very successful women. And sometimes, I don't know about you, I'm going to ask you, have you at one point in time ever thought that maybe you don't need help? You are smart,
I've
educated.
grown like that. For me, it was the opposite of you, right? I was the nerd. I had the glasses, the pimple. I thought beauty got people what they wanted, right? So for me, I was jealous. Like, and in my youth, I would have been jealous of you. I'm like, she's pretty. She gets a guy to get her drinks. She's getting all that she wants by just like winking or like doing just by being herself, right? And I developed my personality more than my looks. I did not like how I look. I didn't love how I looked. I thought I looked like my mother, and I didn't like how my mom looked, right? She looked very in their power, but like masculine. She had short hair and just there was things that, and I looked like her. So I did not love me. And I've only started loving myself after my husband passed away 5 years ago. And even like he would give me compliments. And like you said, right? They're giving you compliments. Oh, I love you. You're so beautiful when you cry. Sometimes I did, my mom passed away. So I was crying and just whatever. When I was frustrated, I would cry and my lips would swell. I would like big red nose and just like, the ugly cry, which I don't want to say ugly anymore because now I'm like, this is beautiful. It's a privilege to see me cry. But it was just, I could not accept, like, is he fake? Like, of course he's saying these things. Is my husband, right? We were together for 14 years. Of course. And of course he loves me. I'm amazing. Look at all I do. I clean, I can cook, I can do all of these. I know I'm a curling coach. I did all of these things. For me, my success was through my achievements. And I had always good grades. I never had taken drugs, don't drink. Like I never, right? I was like the perfect person. So after he passed away, I did get arrested for harassment with the first guy I loved, right? I kind of transposed all my grief on this guy. All the love I had from my husband was transposed on this guy that came up in my life. And I did not know my worth because at one point it switched. Like he didn't want to know anything. It didn't want to, he wanted just be friend. And that triggered all the unworthiness of like from the past. I'm like, oh my God, like, why is he my friend? What am I bringing in his life? And from that, I discovered love attraction. And I discovered, oh my God, I create my reality through my thoughts. And then I went down the phase of like, I didn't know my worth as a mother. Like, I'm like, everybody else could be a better mom because I was now in a depressive, like more depressive state, right? I don't know if you lived that. I'm assuming with the bullying, there was a state where you felt like wordless. I don't know if worthiness, powerless, hopelessness. And when you're a mom and you're the one who's supposed to be the strong one, who's like, I gotta take care, especially as a mom for you too, all the guilt. And for me, what I learned is if I feel guilty within, I'm gonna attract all the circumstances that will make me feel guilty. And I can say, oh, I'm blaming this. I feel guilty because of this. But it's just there's a part of me that feels guilty inside, that feels like I was afraid of discovering a monster. I don't know for you. I was afraid. I'm like, there's a monster hitting.
I understand you. First of all, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
Must be hard. And yes, absolutely. Now you're describing me, a little bit of me, a little bit of my ideal client, the successful woman who is inside not feeling successful. And that's the big problem. And you can admit it, right? Because who you're going to talk to, who you're going to complain to, who you're going to, you can complain about other people. Yes, maybe inside you and feel that guilt, shame, maybe some resentment, why world is not fair. but you can't share it with anybody because you just,
That would be
you
a
just,
relief.
you just,
Now I'm like,
yeah.
I'm all over TikTok, Instagram. I share like, yeah, I don't have any clients, right? I'm like, who people are going to judge me if I judge myself, right? Because if I'm the universe experiencing itself,
Of course,
people
and
will
now
reflect.
you overcame, came out of that darkness, right, of that valley. So
I'm
you just
hoping.
looking back, oh, absolutely. If you can, my one of my coaches is Lisa Nichols from The Secret. Actually, three of my coaches,
Are
all
you?
from.
But we're on speaker mastermind together, right? That's how we.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I found you.
Yeah, but I also have a privilege to be in Lisa executive coaching. So
Ooh, amazing.
yeah, she's you probably know this, and it's just for a lot of people who want to share but not sure if you can share stuff like that. And she always says that uh, check it with, if you came out of that valley, you're fine, you can talk about it. If you're still in the valley, still in the darkness, still figuring it out yourself, then it's okay not to share it. It's okay not to, come out of the whatever, of the darkness. So yes, you came out, but a lot of women are still there. A lot of still experience this guilt. And I did experience this, the guilt when I was leaving the father of my daughter, because I mean, I thought I would always have this perfect family, whatever that is. And if I'm leaving him, I'm being selfish because it's for me. I wasn't happy because, as I said, he began to hurt. And when he quit his racing career, a lot of athletes just lose themselves. So he couldn't find himself in a new world. And she started to hurt us. And it was just safe for me to leave all that life and just take my car, my daughter, and the bronze statue of this woman, actually, ironically, a woman with wings. And that became like the symbol of my freedom on the beginning of this new life. And that's how I serve other women. That's how I'm making impact. That if you take everything in your hand and you make a decision and you take 100% responsibility, which is actually ability to respond to life without blaming, complaining, and if you choose you can really, as you said, build your life, choose your life, and reinvent yourself at any age. I mean, look at my story. I reinvented myself after 40. I thought I would die after 40. I mean, do women even exist after 40? If there is life? I didn't think there was life after 40, but my life has started after 40. Who would have thought that a woman with a eating disorder and obviously distorted body image and not loving the body and being all complex about my ass, can I say this?
Of course.
Yes, I was not happy with it. And all of a sudden I am there at 42 being judged. Actually, my ass was judged by judges. And I mean, a woman with an ego like mine being judged, my worst part of my body, existence, image, everything, my identity, I was judged. And that's when I came out of that darkness of that valley. And you know what? I survived. And that gave me so much strength that if I survived that, what if I can survive something else?
And
that's
I
how
teach people,
confidence is being built. And like now that
it's
I teach
amazing.
confidence.
And
Yeah.
what I teach people is that life happens for you, right? And you're saying to take responsibility. If you're staying in a toxic relationship, you're still the one choosing to stay. I know it's all the subconscious and all the insecurities that make you not leave, but it's still a choice. Because once you see that it is a choice, that is where your power comes from. You're not stuck in that relationship. You're afraid to leave of the consequence that could happen, but that is a fear that can, with the right coach, you can work through those fears and still get out of any toxic relationship. but it's still a choice. Like, I know I'm not a victim. Like, I don't want to perpetuate the victim blaming, like the persecutor circle, right? Because if there's a victim, there's a bad person, and it just keeps the circle going. That's the Cartman circle. But if you get out of it and empower everyone, you empower yourself, you stay that, and that's the relationship. The other person decide to stay there, right? Like they didn't change, but our perspective changed. And when we know that, we attract how we feel. So if I feel unworthy of love, I'm gonna attract the man that's gonna make me feel unworthy. I'm not gonna be a priority. Work will be a priority, and like everything's gonna be like, he's not choosing me. But the reason the person will not be choosing you is because you are not choosing yourself. People reflect how you treat yourself. So if you give all your love to someone, you cannot receive it because energetically you're not a match. You're just giving, and you're like blocking the receiving. So because you are not giving it to yourself. And when you start saying, I'm number one, I matter. My kids, I am saving them from a toxic relationship. I'm saving my kids from being hurt. Like the only thing they're missing out is the pain, right? It's a good thing for me. And you're not a bad person for taking care of you. Your kids need a healthy mom, right? And for me, because
we were taught otherwise. I'm 48.
I did leave you're 48. Yeah. Oh, you look like 42.
Thank you.
Like for me, after my husband passed away, I cut off his family because it was not a healthy relationship, but I felt the guilt. I felt selfish, right? Just like you. And it's something that when you start thinking about yourself, that many women, even men, I mean, there's a lot of men also, but we're talking mostly about women here, but that the insecurity of like, I'm a monster, I'm doing this to my kids, I'm doing this to them. Like I'm supposed to be a loving people, they get walked over. No, you're loving to everyone but yourself. So you are not a loving person, because the most important person is you. Then you can give from the overflow. That's where we're bringing people, right? Don't give when you're empty, give from the overflow of love that you have. And there's somebody on TikTok, because I love TikTok. For me, it's like therapeutic. Somebody said, I saw my mom give and give. She was a giver. She was not a receiver. For her, she wanted to serve the world, but she served and never got anything back. And he said, me, I'm going to receive everything, and then I can give everything, right? Then wait, of course. You got to think about yourself first.
That's and I see people starting to understand. I didn't understand this for a longest time. But now, again, that's what me and you, that's what we teach, and that's what we preach. And I'm just happy. It's I feel like it's a new level of awareness that's happening this day, especially with the pandemic. I think people have realized that life's short. We have to enjoy more. And one of the other things, as you mentioned, is guilt, right? Is if only people would understand, and again, yes, we're talking about women more, but men going through the same thing. If it would only understand that in order to be successful in any area of your life, you first have to, it's like, if you want to be successful in business, and you want to, a lot of women want to become entrepreneurs and run their own businesses, and they start with a business plan, with a logo, with a website, with looking for investors and stuff like, oh, if I only had the $100,000, or if I only had $1 million. But inside, they have the guilt, the shame, the blaming. There's so much personal growth work that has to be done before, and become confident in that, in having built the boundaries, having become the priority, because you'll have to say no in business a lot, otherwise you just gonna fail. You have to prioritize yourself, your time, and you will be spending time a lot working. If you have this guilt trip that your child at home and you're not spending the how do I call this? Oh, I hate this. I don't hide anything, but I don't like this expression. Quality time with your children. What is there unquality time with your children? Is it even possible?
I'm present. I show up, right? when you have parents that
Yeah.
don't show up versus showing up. At least, you're there and
Yeah.
you are quality. I am a quality mom. Then
Yeah.
any time spent with me is quality.
And no matter what you do, if you're there 24/7, or you're at work, or you are traveling, or you still there, you still the mother. You don't have to be physically 24/7 with your child. So start working on that, because I'm not talking for you. I'm talking about to your audience, of course, and look in that direction instead of trying to build a business that's built on sand. You need a cement, and that's, you have to be person, like, you have to grow. It's not a, you're a grown up grown ass woman, but in terms of this new identity, you need a new identity for building your business or your new life. You're not happy with the past relationship, then you need to build new relationship. It has to be absolutely, you have to have a new identity for that. And
And that
just when
identity, you get to choose it. And
you
there
get to,
every day, you get to
absolutely.
choose who you want to be. And
And
one
no
thing
matter
is that,
what age,
yes,
it's never, it's all that, if you need something, if you need new result, you can, and you must create new you for that new result. It doesn't
and
matter what age or what your goal is or what your desire is. It really doesn't matter.
and growing older does not mean your body gets weaker. If you believe that, this is what you're going to attract. Love assumption, I assume that I'm going to grow old and healthy and capable of doing everything I want. And so we want to create the world we want. Everything in the past has been evidence of our past belief. And then when you change that within who you are, you're going to attract new belief. And then we're attracting women that are in their end of 40s that look amazing, like that look 10, 20 years younger. And we're attracting all this in our life because you guys are the proof that we can get it for yourself. And there's no need to be jealous, because if you're jealous of somebody having something, it's just because you don't believe you can get it yourself. And that's something that's important, right? If you're jealous because you don't think
something triggers, yes, a lot of Instagram is a big trigger now, and people, women look at other women, and it's hard for that successful woman that we talk about. It's so hard to even admit the fact that we look at other successful, and they're so successful, and she's beautiful, and she has time for everything, and those perfect kids, and this perfect husband is giving her flowers every day, and she's running a foundation, and she's all of it. So
that can be yours too, if that's what you want, right? That person wants this. If you don't want that success is not yours. You're like, ew, I don't want that, right? So for me, what was important is defining what success is. My website, I have my website. I've got all this stuff. I got a podcast. I got a billboard. But if I don't feel successful within, because it's just a feeling, these things will make me feel successful, but actually I attract these things when I feel successful. And with law of attraction, Abraham Hicks, focus on one aspect that you feel successful, and everything else will come back on that side. Like, you're going to be successful in your physical reality when you focus on that one aspect. If you're a mother and you can run your household, you are successful. I don't need to see a huge bank account. I don't need to see a boat or a Porsche or a huge house to know that you're successful. You get to decide what the definition is. And just before we'll finish up on this part, and then we're going to stop the recording and do another one, because you guys, this is going to be on PBN podcast. And then the rest, we're going to do an after interview, and it's going to be on YouTube, on my channel, and on mariaofmongrain.com. So can you tell us, before we go, where people can find you? Where can they find your book? How can they contact you?
My book is called You Were Born Wow, because again, that's my message and reminder that you are wow. You are wowed by you, but by your own success. So it's You Were Born Wow on Amazon. It's Katia _Stern_ on Instagram. KatiaStern.com is my website. I'm going to be adding soon a little test, assessment of how confident, where you are on your level of confidence, and what's the next step that will, take you to the next level. you become even more successful, even more confident. And yeah, if you join my circle, you will definitely, I will teach you, I will share my expertise on how to become confident on the beach, in the bedroom, or in a boardroom.
You will glow inside out with Katia. I thank you so much, you guys. Keep following us, and I will see you next time. I'm Mary of Mongrain. It was the It's Me Time podcast, and y'all deserving of the love and that you have. Give yourself that love that you have for yourself, and the world will change. Find me on maryofmongrain.com, marymongrain90 on Instagram and TikTok, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.